right, so we are very excited to welcome a few new members, and some of them are here with us this evening. So before I go through the list, I'm just going to ask you guys to just do a quick little introduction. Name, what you are joining us as, and what town you're from. So,
Guess I'll start. I'm Logan Kaplan from Templeton. I came here, graduated in 2011 from industrial technology, which is now switched to HVAC, and that's what I'm going to be teaching.
Cool, thank you.
thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Joe Smith, and I'm from the towns of Massachusetts. I graduated from North Middlesex. I have been working as a carpenter the last 10 years or so, and I'm new house carpentry.
I'm Glenn Kitzmiller. I'm from Warwick, and I'm the new MVP staff.
Would you like me to read all of the names?
Yeah, might as well.
Abby Wood, who's our new masonry instructor, and Abby was subbed for us for quite some time here last year, so it was really nice having her join us as a full-time instructor. Ann Bernard, cafeteria worker. Courtney Darling is joining us as a paraprofessional. She's starting in just a couple of weeks. Daniel Coughlin, another cafeteria worker. Erin Thompson, accounts payable and procurement assistant. She started over the summer with us. Jen Hurley, a part-time cafeteria worker. Jessica Constantinides, I need to continue to practice her name, good thing we're not hitting graduation with her. Speech and language pathology assistant. She's working very closely with Marissa, speech and language pathologist, which is great addition to that team. Joe, who introduced himself. Logan, who introduced himself. Mariana Wendling is a chemistry instructor. She's also a Monty Tech graduate, did her student teaching here for some time. Rachel DeBona, we finally have an athletic trainer.
How long did it take, Mr.
So excited. We didn't have one for some time, and that was an issue for some time. So we're so very, very grateful that we were able. She is fantastic. We actually had quite the little candidate pool, which is great, and she's wonderful. We're so pleased to have her join our team. We have a new cosmetology instructor, Stephanie Slowski. Trevor Poole, who's a paraprofessional, who just introduced himself. Next slide. Is there this? There should be one, right? One more?
Hold on.
Nope. Yep, there we go.
Okay. And this is, we had some folks sort of crossing over. Angela Chavit, who used to be our stay paraprofessional, is now the administrative assistant to the Dean of Students. Anthony Cicino, who basically did some security and our in-house monitor, is now the assistant to the Dean of Students. Drew Curry has shifted from an evening custodian to a day custodian. Flo Torres in the business office moved into a payroll position. Hannah Kelly, who was a paraprofessional with us, moved into the kitchen's operations supervisor. Jason Lund.
Can I just cross
Yes.
out, just so everybody knows, so that's a new position that we created. We used to have someone who worked for the cafeteria staff who kind of did some of the ordering, did some of the products coming in and everything else. And Tammy had a conversation with Jason Yeagle, our food service director, who really said he wanted to have somebody who was kind of a supervisory position on the kitchen floor, working directly with the staff. So Hannah Kelly had worked for us in the cafeteria. She was a paraprofessional for the last year or two. But we were really happy to bring this position on, and Hannah should do a great job.
Jason Lund, evening maintenance. Jessica Shantz. Jessica was working in the dean's office doing attendance. Now that's become part of Anthony's role as well. And she's now with us as a vocational instructor assistant. Mary Anderson, new paraprofessional. Matt Paul, vocational instructor assistant. Matt Paul was down at MVP as a paraprofessional and is now going to be in our building as a vocational instructor assistant. Vanessa Rivera, who again, another wonderful staff cafeteria worker who has now transitioned in becoming our baker. Tara DeBona, who moved into the HR assistant position, and Terry Dushan, who's the interim director of a practical nursing program. And I think that was it, right? So we are thrilled that you guys are here. I think, again, we have a great group of folks. I think you know, with movement creates sort of that domino of now we have to shift people and hire, but we're very happy to have the folks that we do in the places that they're at. And I wish you guys a fantastic year, and I'm so happy that you are part of our community. So thank you. You can stay, but you can go. Have a great night.
We won't be hurt.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank
You as well.
All right, next item of business is public comment, but I don't see any public here, so. Approval of minutes? Ms. Swanson?
Move that the district committee votes to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 6th, 2025 as presented.
I'll second. Okay, that's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, you want to call a vote, Julie? Okay, motion passed. Next order of business is the superintendent's report. Brown?
Should we introduce our student rep?
Oh, I'm sorry. And you are,
Natalie,
nice to meet you, and
Nice
I
to
hope
meet
you
you.
enjoy what you're doing.
thank you.
Now, they want you to let them know where you're from, what shop you're from, and everything else.
I'm from Vet Science Shop. I'm from Hubbardston. I'm a senior here. Do you want me to go over the student report?
You want to go when she goes, or you want to go now?
That's up, you want to
Why
go?
don't you already started, why don't you go right through it?
Go for it.
We got momentum, keep it going.
Well, we just started school, so there's student body's actually getting pretty busy already. Fall sports are underway with some of our first matches. Cross country had their first 5K trial run on the first day of school, and they have their first meet coming up on September 9th. Volleyball has a scrimmage tomorrow and are excited to start the season. As for football, they have their first game on September 12th. And for our co-op students, we have 88 seniors participating in co-op as of right now. I know a lot of students who are in the running of getting their co-op set up and starting to go out again, so those numbers are going to go up quickly. Particularly in my shop, we have almost everybody looking for co-ops, and a lot of people are getting them. As of right now, we have 3 students out, including myself. And for our clubs, student council is busy planning homecoming and our first spirit week, which will be held on September 23rd. National Honor Society seniors are working to start brainstorming their community service projects. Myself and my peer are hoping to do something in support of blood cancer organizations. For Leo Club, they're starting up again on Tuesday mornings with Mrs. Salvinelli in dental. From last year, the students were able to start connections with the Lions Club members, so they're excited to do that to further their community service projects. And then JRTC, they're starting their annual march-a-thon. They march to earn money to gain funds for a greater cause. I'm not sure what the cause is as of right now, but they're working on that. And Skills USA has just sent out their applications for other members and are already starting up to get that busy year. For kind of our miscellaneous events that are coming up, we have Back to School Day on September 11th. We have the annual College Career Fair on September 24th from 5 to 7 p.m. with over 55 colleges and universities, as well as employers and unions representing, and the list is still growing as well. We also have our honor roll banquet on September 23rd and September 25th to recognize all the students who have achieved honor rolls this last year. Thank you guys for having me to speak on behalf of the student body. Do you guys have any questions?
First of all, excellent report.
Thank you.
I was very impressed, especially being the first time here and first time starting school. There was a lot of information. I'm curious, where are you going to be
help at Rutland Vet Clinic. It's kind of right near the Dunkins in the center of the town. I was the first one to start co-op in my shop last year towards May. They got me out pretty quickly. I took my CVA, studied on my own, and then took it. That's why a lot of our students don't go out right away.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, do you know what that is? Good job.
Mr. Olson?
Yes, Dr. Bobadilla? Yes, she's nice.
Mr. Olson has a question.
Oh, yes.
Just again, welcome to the committee now. Please share your reports and other feedback that you have on topics that come up that you and the student bodies are interested in. And as well, this is a trove of people to mine for fundraisers and other activities. So when those come up, feel no shame in trying to hit up this group for whatever fundraising event that's going on in the school. It's a great opportunity to get this group to we'll give you some other money, so please don't feel bashful.
Of course.
Anything else? Oh, by the way, I really like the Chuck Taylors.
Thanks.
He has an original pair, that's why.
No, we used to wear those to play basketball back in the 60s.
Yeah, I play basketball. I wore them in Little League and then realized that they break your ankles.
Did you find out the hard way?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? No. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, let's keep going here. I think Ms. Carlson's giving her the signal right now.
Now you may have homework or just
Yeah.
something to do, but you don't have to stay, honey. But you did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so obviously last week was our opening, opening couple days, first day back, welcoming all the staff. One of the things we do each year is certainly do the work anniversaries, folks for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, sometimes even 35 years. But great list of folks that I just want to make sure I shared with you. Mr. Gormley, Ms. Favreau, both on that work anniversary list, so congratulations to them. One of the things we did, top right corner, when I first arrived at Montachusett, soon after we did have Stoneham, Chandler, and Miller come in and do a presentation on just some of the legal concerns that staff members should have. Talk about, we keep emphasizing that Vicki and Student Support Services is in the middle of preparing for a tiered focus monitoring review. There's certain things that we needed to review with the entire staff, make sure we did some training, things like McKinney-Vinto, working with foster families and so forth. So our friends at Stoneham, Chandler, Miller did a nice presentation, involved all of that. Talked about things about some of the professionalism, concerns like, we have a lot of concerns about, we have young teachers who have a huge digital footprint, and we always say that can be a scary, dangerous thing sometimes. So be mindful of your digital footprint out there and everything else. And then we talked about a couple of the major cases that are affecting schools, particularly in Massachusetts. The one I highlight is Mahmood versus Taylor, that went up to the Supreme Court, and the decision was basically giving parents more leeway to have their students opt out from reading certain books in school or anything else like that. Montech already had a policy. Christy and the academic teachers already have a policy in place where student parents can have things replace material and everything else. So we're already prepared for that. But that was the thing that just happened this spring, and there was a big push to get handbooks updated with that kind of information. So, but a great presentation. We appreciated that. Then on the bottom right, Katie and Melissa Lord did a great job. This was our PD day. A part of a PD day is also trying to find an opportunity to get our staff to work together and do some team building. They reached out and connected with the North Central office of Department of Children and Families. And basically, we had a bunch of bike kits show up, bicycle kits, and our staff together put all those bikes together, and they were all donated to Department of Children and Families at the end of the day. So a good, fun activity, but also something that gives back to the community, so we're really pleased to do that. It was a great idea by Katie and Melissa. So just some of the things we did on the opening day. Very excited to share, Drew Cowett, one of our English teachers, earned it's pronounced, I looked it up to make sure, the Klaus Nobel Educator of Distinction Award. And this is from a group called the National Society of High School Scholars. It's associated with National Honor Society and so forth. What this is, it's a really neat thing that students get to nominate teachers that they feel have done things above and beyond, and things that they've done to support what the students have done in terms of growth and everything else. Drew, it was very great because he actually was nominated by 2 of our students last year, didn't receive the distinction award. Another student nominated him this year. So clearly the fact that his students are nominating him year to year shows what a great instructor he is. As Christy said, we can't think of another teacher more deserving of such an award, but really proud of Drew, and we congratulate him and everything else. Great recognition for MVP. So I've talked to you a couple times, I think I've shown you slides in the past. Every fall, North Central Massachusetts Chamber of Commerce does a manufacturing bus tour where they get city officials, state officials, business owners, members of the chamber. They all pile onto a bus. Some people drive their own cars behind. And they visit a variety of manufacturing centers around northern central Massachusetts. Last year, those are a couple of the ones that they went to, Starrett and SMC and Catania Oils. So Roy Nascimento, the president of the chamber, shot me an email and he said, hey, we're planning our tour for the manufacturing tour this fall. Would you be okay with if we finish the tour at MVP? And in about 3.2 seconds, I said, absolutely, you can come to MVP. We'd love to host you. So we're going to be hosting the closing. They do a little lunch and a little presentation. But it's just a great opportunity. To be perfectly honest, Katie and I looked at each other and said, time to get some sponsors, hopefully. So we'll do our best at that to get some more sponsors for the program and everything else. But it was great that he reached out and offered that to us, and we're looking forward to offering that. Couple updates. When I showed you some of the slides or the pictures for our renovations back in August, we really weren't all the way there, and some of these weren't even done yet. So I just want to make sure you got some new images. So in the top left, remember we looked at the old child care playground, and it really needed an update. So we were able to install a brand new, climbing apparatus. I don't know what you call it. I don't have a lot of experience with playgrounds, but it's awesome. Those are all wood chips and everything else. They're very safe. We should have got the picture of Miss Crockett on her little bouncy bike, which was hilarious, but anyhow.
I don't have it, I can share it.
Oh, send it along. Katie, put it on Facebook tomorrow, Katie. So, when I showed you some of the drafting pictures from all the great work that John White and Mike Dion and Joe Bolger and Floyd Morrison did with their students, we didn't have the dividing wall, which the picture to the left you can now see. They've split the shop in half. They have greater access to electricity in terms of just plugs. It's much more functional of a shop and everything else. But excited to get all that work done. We were just starting the work to install the EV chargers. I'm sure some of you saw them. They're just outside. If you go down the hallway here, you walk out right into them. That was through a partnership with DMH, the state funds and everything else help pay for that, grant funds and everything else. So we have some chargers. We have staff that are very excited because they will be using those chargers. To be perfectly honest, we still haven't got our lesson of how the whole charger thing works. I have hybrid, but I don't have to charge it, so I don't really know how it works either. But we will get a small cash benefit from it in terms of we get a bit of the fee that they use and everything else. But it's also just to support our students and staff who might need to have access to EV chargers. Auto body spray booth. What I will say about, I'm sorry, Jeff.
On the chargers, did they tie into the building system, or does that go right to the pole?
Right to the pole. That's one of the reasons where they did it, because it's very close to the pole that's out there. So.
Awesome.
Yep. So, yes. For the spray booth, a couple weeks ago, Bill kind of sent me an email and said, hey, how's the spray booth going? And I said, well, I'll say in a word, slow. The booth itself has gone right up as it's going up. We're very pleased with the progress that they're making. But to be perfectly honest, the early work that involved the masonry subcontractor did not go as well as we would have planned. They were very infrequent in terms of showing up to do the work, and then some of the work we had some concerns with and everything else. The good thing is we brought the instructors in, we brought Dick Demers in from masonry. We sat with the team, we've gone through, okay, we need this taken care of, this taken care of, this taken care of. Again, it's going up much faster now. We expect to have it done within a week, or, well, I'll say 2 weeks, is what they're talking about. But it's coming along, and we'll be happy when it's there. It's obviously a struggle for the instructors these first couple weeks, not having their main piece of equipment ready to go. So we're disappointed about that piece. Engineering, I think I had a picture of the walls being painted, and it's kind of small on the screen now that I see it, but I just want you to see some of the storage space that was in there, some of the learning space for students and everything else, so they got their renovation. And then no, that is not what they're gonna look out like, because they're still folded up. But we did receive the 2 heavy equipment simulators. We're gonna be putting those into one of our related rooms over by Auto Technology. Donnie and myself and Brian met today to talk about how we're gonna get them plugged into the network and into, for power and everything else. But we should have those up and going. The masonry instructors and some of the carpentry instructors are already asking how quickly can they get on that, because they're thrilled to be able to have that as an opportunity.
What is the goal with the simulators? I mean, we don't run like a heavy equipment vocation,
But
what is the goal?
But there's major, so for instance, the masons all want to get on it because, let's face it, when you're moving stuff around a job site as a mason, correct. So, and that can be simulated. I'm not a gamer, so I shouldn't say this because I don't necessarily know, but from what I've seen of gamers, it's real an environment that you're watching on the screen, and it's how big were the screens, Donnie? 40 inches each, and it's 3 screens in front of you. So you feel like you're driving on the job site. So folks like the masons, the carpenters, and everything else, it's an additional skill and certification that we can get for them. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can they get the hydraulics license from this?
Ryan, they can't get their hydraulics license from this, correct?
No, yeah, for that, but there's different software you can get, so you can actually apply to different applications. And one of the things we can get now with our students is they can get on their track for their hoisting license.
But isn't it 18 and above on hoisting license?
It is, this gives you just the training, you can't go for the actual
Right,
test
okay,
yet,
that's what
but
I thought.
you can do the training part.
And it all depends which hoisting license they have to apply for. I got you. Thanks.
All right, so we talked about admissions policy last week, I told you, or last month. So a lot of this isn't new, so I'm gonna kind of go through it quickly, but we did present the policy that we had written completely, and obviously it's been posted and everything else. We presented to the policy subcommittee, we had some great conversations, I really appreciated that. But again, just to kind of quickly go over what's in place, obviously we end up with a weighted lottery as required by the state. The process will be that we are going to use the traditional paper application process that we have in place. Our concern, some people are saying they're going to have families enter the data right into the software package. By the way, the group that we're taking a look at, Chrissy and I actually have a meeting with them tomorrow, a virtual meeting, is Schoolmint, who does this as, this is their main thing, is school lotteries. So we're going to meet with them just to double check that they can serve all the needs that we want. But again, paper application, parents fill it out as they would traditionally do. They submit that, we enter everything into Schoolmint, and that then will do the lottery. There'll be 19, technically there'll be 19 lotteries, one for every town, and then an additional one that makes up the list of when towns run out of applicants. So for instance, Harvard never fills, and so we're gonna have to take some spots. So there'll be one for each individual town, one for everybody to get the places that are left open. We had talked about the selective criteria. We were not big fans of a lot of the selective criteria. The first one that talked about student awareness. The big concern the team had, as we discussed about that, was tracking. If the idea is that a kid is supposed to go to one of the open houses, or the kid is supposed to go to tour day, how do we track that? How do we, if we tell the family, scan your phone for a QR code, what happens if the kid misses it? Now we can't tell whether or not the kid actually did it, and it's just, the whole idea of this is to be opening up the door, so to make things that might be a little bit harder, so we did not recommend, and it's not included in the policy. We did recommend student attendance, because we do still feel really important that those, again, it's a lot of days, but even just to send the message that we want to make sure that we're not doing anything worse than the 27 unexcused days over the year and a half prior to when they applied, the 270 school days. Do we think this is going to prevent a whole lot of kids from getting that extra weight? No, we don't. We think most kids are going to qualify for this. We did, when I talked to you last month, we talked about, one of our concerns was homeschool students. The solution we came up with that has been okayed pretty much with amongst us and everything else is that we're just going to have a homeschool parent sign an affidavit that says that their child attended the proper amount of days. We trust our homeschool parents, we always have, so we think this is just at least that qualifies and gets us through. The last two, student discipline, we told you, we're not going to be able to find out who got a felony crime, so why waste the time on the student discipline piece? And the student interest, again, the fact that writing a personal essay, we don't know if they actually wrote it, doing an interview when you can't score the interview in any way or use any of the information you got in the interview, just didn't make sense. So we're not recommending that. So when we talk about our weighted lottery, the only pieces that we're talking about really that would give, everyone gets their name in for the lottery just for applying, and then anyone who meets the attendance standard, the 27 days or fewer for unexcused absences, they'll get their name in for one more additional time. So I would say the majority of kids will technically have their name in twice for the various lotteries, but I'm okay with that. I mean, I think that's the best we can kind of do with what's been given to us. So that's where we are now.
So we're doing it by an ID, and so Ashby has 7 spots. If somebody's ID number comes up twice, or will be.
So you're hitting one of our first questions. One of our first questions to School Mint is, because they're in there multiple times, once they get called up once, will their name then be pushed aside? Their ID number, sorry, not their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we believe, Donnie, I believe that's what they've told us, but we're gonna confirm that tomorrow. I should have also mentioned that one of those things that happens with that, don't forget, technically this has to be a public lottery that we have to present. But there's really no, what we do, the fantastic thing we do for the senior awards night where we have the spinorama and the name pops up for the kid. That's not what this is going to be about. What it's going to do is it's going to print out 86231, 973-267. No one's going to know except for the family, so it's not going to be like Price is Right. Fred Smith, come on down, you're accepted. So it's not going to be a big event or anything else like that. But they'll know that they got accepted that night and everything else, whether they watch it online, because obviously we'll do it on Zoom as well. But yeah, that's the kind of IDs we're talking about. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't we just do one big lottery, and as the kid's name come up, 86752 Fitchburg, first one goes to Fitchburg, 86754 Winchton, and then you fill up every town, and as they come up, they automatically go into the wait list.
Well,
if Fitchburg's full, boom, you're on
yeah,
the wait list.
but the fair thing to do, if we're doing it apportionment by town, is to do the lottery by town. Because then the Royalston kids, instead of being in with everybody else, now they're in with the other 4 kids that are from Royalston, and that's it.
So if you're wait list number 5, you're you filled your 4 spots and now you're the first wait list, or your wait list number is 175.
Each town has their own wait list?
Each town, yeah. Yeah, remember, because what we do is if a kid leaves from that town.
For the Harvard, I'm thinking about for the Harvard seats.
For the Harvard seats, that's just the one big wait list of everybody. So, because there's no one, all the other towns will have somebody from their town to take a spot if somebody leaves.
Right.
Harvard's the only one that doesn't, so we have to go to the full list of everybody for Harvard. So we'd go to the first kid. If once Harvard, I think it's 12 kids they get or something like that, they usually have 4 or 5 who apply, and obviously they all get in. Those 7 extra spots, the first 7 people on the top of the wait list, the full wait list, are in. Yeah, are in. So.
Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
I think the question that I'm not really appreciating
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
It should have, you know, a whole list of everybody on it. And then
Correct.
if they get off of that list because they fill another spot or a student declines one and then goes down on their town list, it just
Correct.
continues down the full lottery list.
Exactly.
That's at least how the policy's been drafted
Yep.
today to try to attach to the district agreement.
Correct.
No way to go buy those seats for other communities. We should probably think about that.
Say it again?
We should have like a bidding process for other communities where we can buy up the extra seats instead of doing the lottery.
Hey,
Pittsburgh can buy them, Peterson, Phillipston, we'll get some money to give.
Yep.
I guess another question on the decision for a weighted lottery over a non-weighted lottery that had less restrictions on it.
Yep.
Do we think if we had any data that we will ever have a student who won't get the extra seat on the 270 number and that actually will move people off?
Yes,
of
we do. It's not going to be a big number. We've looked at past data. There are some that sadly have,
Or if it's more than 10%?
yes,
It felt like there was other requirements that came with a weighted lottery that
Yeah.
we would be able to recuse ourselves from if we just said, nope, we're gonna run
yeah,
blind lottery 100%. No
Right.
attestation required by you, no other.
yeah. But again, it's not gonna be a huge number, but I think it is important to say, because as, you know, Vicky can certainly speak to it too, that kids who have bad attendance often struggle, so.
Do we know an estimated cost of school mint yet?
We do, and it wasn't huge, but I it's not a big number, and I'm not trying to be coy about it, just because I know we're talking to them tomorrow, so I want to make sure, I'll email out to everybody what the number is when we
And
get
is
it
it
tomorrow.
by the amount of kids you put in, or is it by the amount
Yes.
of lotteries you do?
It's about the number of kids,
or
correct.
We could do 1,000 lotteries, it doesn't matter.
Yes, I think that is a true statement, yes. I thought I saw somebody over here, but no. Oh.
Yeah, I just to double on to what Eric had also said. One thing that all the vocational schools in Massachusetts were really pushing is the fact that attendance is very important. Because if they don't have good attendance in the schools, they're not gonna get jobs, or they may get a job. But if they start running, they're not here Mondays and Fridays, or skipping out, et cetera, they're gonna lose their jobs, and they need to understand that quickly. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to keep attendance in as a criteria.
So then just on the bottom there, so again, on the timeline, we have to submit our official policy by November 1st. Obviously, having first reading tonight and second reading for October, we're on timeline that's going to work. I note, because even Chrissy came to us the other day in terms of the middle school pathway. So again, we're technically not involved in that. Each middle school has to have their plan on how they're going to make sure they're providing access for students to get the information about vocational schools and everything else. But, you know, if I get the sense, certainly from today, that, you know, this is the kind of policy that we're going to go for, we'll at least reach out to the sending districts just to kind of give them a hint of, while you're writing up your plan, this is what Monty Tech is thinking of using. That way it can help shape their plan as they put it together. I'm certainly not, if they ask me questions, I'll get, but that is their plan. They say they got to get that approved on their own, so. So that's the update on admissions. I had talked about in August, it had just come out, the CTE expansion grant. Just to clarify it a little bit more, you can see this was, again, the state released, mostly through the millionaire's tax, this grant opportunity for vocational schools to expand in a variety of ways. The total funding is there. What they're guessing individual awards for, 2 to 5 million. You can see what the timeline is. And again, this is to increase the number of students able to participate in existing programs, so if you want to expand the space itself, or if you want to create a new program and demonstrate that we can have, you know, that's again based on labor market data, whether or not that industry is in need or anything like that. Again, it's about increasing enrollment capacity, and part of it is also just kind of using it to develop the space itself, so they'll take a look at that. Basically, if you receive the grant, 70% of that can go to, if you're building a new facility or adding on to a new facility, or it can go to lease costs, 70% of the lease cost, as long as the lease is a minimum of 5 years. The funding does also include, if you're doing a startup cost for a new shop program, $250,000. You can do up to 3 CT programs, and the resources have to be used for facility improvements, again, to increase capacity. Our current thought right now, my current thought, in having a conversation with Katie, I've shared it with the admin team, is to use this to open a program for Montech students. So not necessarily doing another MVP program, but taking this as an opportunity to do an off-site facility that we could we would kind of copy MVP in the sense of doing an off-site facility, but we would specifically use, now that we've kind of got it down to, I'm not gonna say we have it down to a system, because we've done it for all of 6 or 7 months, but how you handle an off-site facility in terms of lunches, in terms of transportation, and everything else. We know that adding on to this building triggers the sprinkler system being installed and everything else, so that would be a challenge. We have a few sites that we've looked at, but you know, with Santa K, we talked about it at admin the other day, we really need to jump on this now. They finally sent out the actual language of the RP, came out just the past 24 hours or so, so we really need to look at it. I think I mentioned to you that one of the programs that we're looking at strongly would be a diesel technology program. We know that there's a lot of districts that are kind of considering some different programs, but diesel technology is not one that's out there a lot. It is definitely, when you talk about mass hire and careers that, you know, they need people in, that's one of them. So, you know, we have, you know, till the end of October. We'll obviously be updating you as we go through this, as we take a look at some of the different opportunities. I do want to emphasize, though, that again, every single vocational district is going to be going for this. Everybody's going to be going for the money. I think, as I've said to you before, a lot of districts saw that what we did with MVP, and they have been saying, "Oh, there's a building across the street from our campus, and we want to lease it and use it and everything else." So it's going to be very, very competitive. But I think we'd be remiss if we didn't at least explore the opportunities that we could do with this. So, yes, sir.
Is it just vocational schools or some other variant of them that can get this money?
No, anyone, if you're doing a Chapter 74 program, so yes, the comprehensive schools can apply as well.
So if you have one Chapter 74 program, you could apply for this money to increase it to 2 programs?
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Does the comprehensive school have to have a Chapter 74 program in place?
I believe they can start brand new if they would like to.
Create new programs?
Correct. Yes?
So there's actually a $100 million pool of money, and $60 million is what we're talking about, because that's what the vocational schools would go for in terms of the CTE expansion grant. And then they reserve like another 35 of that $100 million for other schools to expand Chapter 74 programs or build new Chapter 74 programs. So like Fitchburg High, for example, or any comprehensive district could do that, but they'd be like applying for grants out of a different pool of money.
So this pool is just for?
This $60 million pool is for the Montachusett of the world, right?
Just technical.
Yeah, regional location.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so obviously we're going to be taking a look at that, and when I get to it, that's going to be one of my personal goals we'll talk about. I'm not going to go through, guys. We gave you the district improvement plan on board docs and everything else. We are finishing up the 3rd year of the current district improvement plan that we have. I gave you a list of some of the objectives that we had, but I did want to highlight a couple of the action steps and the things that we got accomplished with this district improvement plan, one for each of the different objectives. So certainly, Christy and the academic folks got well ahead of the idea of developing common assessments. We actually added this a couple years ago. The reason why that was a huge step for us is, if you remember, going back to the competency determination policy that we're voting on tonight, one of that is that in terms of measuring student mastery, what they want to see is that the students are not just passing the class, but passing an exam or a portfolio, something that indicates that the student didn't just get a 61 in pass. We have these common assessments in place because Christy and the academic folks have already built them, because we decided as part of the district improvement plan to build quarterly assessments in there. So it's great that we have that first step ready to go and everything else. For the professional learning and growth, Vicky and the student support staff, the commitment they made, I don't want you to underestimate the work that it was to switch to the new IEP program. That was a ton of work. Vicky immediately identified some great resources to come in and do trainings and everything else. And obviously, this is to support some of our students, who struggle a lot. And so the fact that they got this IEP system in, did the work that they needed to do to get that going. I'm not gonna say that it was all smiles and rainbows and unicorns. I don't think Vicky would say the same thing. It's like every district, and there's the frustration of, why did they do it this way? But it is what it is. They did a fantastic job, so I wanted to highlight that. For the district, in terms of objective number 3, the culture of learning and respect, this also built out of, we were taking a look at the student handbook, we were looking at our bullying policies, our harassment policies. If you remember, this is a couple years ago at this point, but the Addressing Hate program came out. We brought out the folks from the Center for Sports and Society. They did trainings for most of our staff, for our students and everything else. And I think it was a good piece because that then allowed Diana to bring in things like pushing and really getting more kids involved in our multicultural club and our multicultural night. Different activities that really got things going for an awareness of that. And I mean, we've always had a very open student body and everything else, but I think this really hammered home some of the things about being mindful of other folks and everything else. The fourth one there, obviously when you're talking about community partnerships, MVP makes that one's pretty clear and obvious. And then the last one that we haven't talked about the last couple of years, because we really kicked this in at the start of the district improvement plan, but we did all that work with the safety audit that then allowed us to create a new campus-wide safety plan that we've been using very strongly. Diana's been very great about making sure we're doing more trainings and everything else in terms of simulations and everything. So those are just some highlights that I wanted to share. Please take a look at the plan again. We'll wrap it up this year. Next summer, during our admin retreat, we'll be doing the next district improvement plan. So really great work there. And then very quickly, because I've been talking way too long, my goals, I've already just kind of talked about several of them. I had a great conversation actually with Eric and Whitney and Christina when we were doing some of the stuff with workforce. But we've talked about the AI policy and that we do not have one. Miraculously, in the past week, just under, the state finally released some guidance on developing an AI policy. I didn't want to get ahead of something too quickly, and now that I think there's some guidance out there, I'm really going to try to get myself trained on some of the specific AI limitations. Whitney, unfortunately not here, she talked about making sure we survey staff to see how they are using AI in class. Eric made a great point about making sure that we're building in a policy that is forward-thinking, because this is going to keep changing and modifying. It can't be something that does not factor in the fact that things are going to change very quickly in this whole area. But we hope to have, by the end of the year, we'll be submitting for proposal an AI policy. We talked about this quickly a little bit, and we had certainly talked with Capital a little bit about the fact that, if you recall, our track, Maya came out, checked out our track, said our track is not usable because of the condition that it's in. We had already been looking at the bleachers as a situation where those are some pretty old bleachers. So we've already been doing some work. We already have some design drawings with parts of it, but we're going to try to take a look at, can we finance a replacement of the athletic fields in terms of the football field, the track, and the bleachers. The plan would be we push them a little bit further west. I mean, they're not going to go off campus, obviously, but towards the practice field a little bit more. But exploring that and seeing if we can do that and doing it at a reasonable cost. But right now, the track is not usable, so we need to do something to address that at the very least. And then last but not least, what I just talked about is the expansion grant, that checking opportunity to see if we can expand our shop offerings in the number of students. And again, I should have mentioned, if we do this and we move to add a program, it's not going to be one big new chunk of kids. Obviously, you have to build by grade. So we'd be adding, maybe it's 15 kids for a freshman year, then we add 15 kids for the as it builds through. So it's not going to be just all of a sudden a big chunk of kids being thrown in there. But that would be a good way to kind of work our way into a program. So those were the 3 goals that I was looking at, and I presented them, Derek, and I'll see what happens.
We'll see them in a few minutes.
Yes. Stay tuned. All right, and that's it, sorry.
That's
went on.
it.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Carlson?
Okay, hi. All right, we are, what was today? Day 5, 6 of the school year. It's actually very exciting to have students in our building. I certainly like the noise in the building when our students are present, so it's nice to have everybody back. As you know, we had a busy summer. I know we did meet in August, but I think right about the time that we're meeting, we had just wrapped up, or we're in the middle of our new staff orientation. You know, that every year, certainly for teachers, we want to make sure they participate in an induction program. New teachers are participating in the new staff orientation and induction, and then they continue on. They're paired up with a mentor that they continue to work with as they enter the career of teaching, whether it's just first year at Montachusett into education, or certainly if they're coming from the district, really to transition them into our school and into their discipline. That is Kirsten Farias is the coordinator for our program, and she does an outstanding job. This year we had 12 participants total, and that's teaching staff, some of whom you met here, and also support staff as well. So our paraprofessionals are also part of that training too, because again, it's important for them to just learn a little bit about Montech and our culture, and certainly ensure that they are hooked up with people to ensure their success. Freshman orientation, same dates on August 20th and 21st. This year we did a little bit differently, where the students just came in alphabetical order. So based on their last name, we had about 175 students on the 20th, and then the other half came on the 21st. If you remember from previous years, there was a couple years where Christy and Kirsten had come up with the Rising Freshman Academy, where we invited our incoming freshmen to attend a 4-day or 5-day sort of academy here at Montech. And while some kids were interested, sometimes it was difficult, where students were going on vacation, or they would come for a few days, they couldn't come the other days. So what Kristen Lamy and then Kirsten Farias have come up with too is really to sort of combine those. So rather than having the students just come for a half-day orientation, to have them here for the full day and really sort of transition them and meet, one, different staff members, but also to learn about all the offerings and all the different supports that are available to them at Montech. So that was a great day. It was a busy day for students, but they got to see students and play games, and a lot of that was just playing games to get to know each other and know that when they showed up day one that they see some familiar faces, that they also get issued their Chromebook, we do their pictures, their photo IDs. Of course, they have lunch in our cafeteria, which, if you haven't noticed, our cafeteria is so bright in there. It looks huge, it looks fantastic. And again, so that was another successful, there's a list of staff here that you'll see, and it's really neat to see. We have some staff members, some of our coaches who are even here running some PD sessions. We have a nice balance of our regular education students as well as special education students. So again, I think as students enter the building, they also have some familiar faces of folks that they have met during their orientation, which is really nice and comforting, I think, when they show up for day one. Let's see. And then the upperclassmen. So typically on the first day that we have staff back, Chrissy Lamy does an upperclassmen orientation. This year we had 6 upperclassmen, and then we had 9 freshmen who were unable to come to their session. So they actually came here. The neat thing about this is our teachers, typically at the time that they come, our vocational teachers are in their programs. So for the upperclassmen that are coming here, so was that just for sophomores that were coming? They were able to just meet the instructor and walk into the shop during that time too. So it's really neat for them to step into that environment before all the kids are here before the first day of school. Then on the 21st at night, we do our freshman parent orientation. Again, another opportunity. I'm like, this is the one time we have all parents in front of us, other than at awards night and graduation, where they can hear, you know, our expectations and our commitment really to their students, and welcome them then to, again, it's nerve-wracking, I think, as a new parent, and having students come into a new building too, and really to hear and meet some of the folks to make sure they know that the students are going to be supported here in the building, and also to learn the expectations of the school. We're no joke, right? So you come here, know what the rules are, you're choosing to be here, we want you here, but we have expectations too. So that's a great time. Again, we talk about different services and supports and about the schedule and the pre-exploratory and exploratory process as well. And I think that's it. And then up events, Natalie did a great job highlighting some of our upcoming events. And that's it. That's it. Any questions?
You
Yes?
might want to talk about what we're going to be doing on the half professional development day for September.
Yeah, so we have our NEAS accreditation that's coming up. So right now, it's going to be all hands on deck, really preparing for our self-study. Kirsten Farias, one of our ELA teachers, and then Kamali Cintron, who's our health occupation instructors, are going to be our co-chair for our decennial visit. So basically the ones that are overseeing sort of the process and really working with the steering committees. So what we did in the spring is really put out a survey for staff saying, you know, we're all going through the process together, all hands on deck. Do you have a preference as to which standard you are part of? So people may take more of an interest in, you know, school culture and student support services. So folks have been assigned to different standards. Our vocational programs are going to be doing their own report that is specific to each one of our 21 programs. And then all our academic folks will be assigned to each one of the 5 standards. We're also in the process of developing the vision of a learner, which we sort of started last year. I told you guys about that back in the spring. So that's, again, continuous work. So during a lot of our after-school dates, meeting dates, and also during PD, especially at the start of the year, NEAS basically wants our reports to them by January. And their first visit will be here in March. Okay, the thing about this is they've changed the process a little bit with NEAS, so they've streamlined things a little bit and condensed it, which is great. I see it as an opportunity for us to showcase what we do and what we do well, and also a chance for us to look at what we could change and how can we improve. I think that's something that we continue to do as educators, so I think having people here is a great thing. We did have our NEAS liaison that was here for our first PD day and basically talked to the entire staff about the process. So that's good. We're excited for that, but we know it's going to be a lot of work. I just sent out a survey to parents. So now we have some parents here, make sure you take the survey, help us out. But we need at least 30% participation from families. And then all students and all staff members today during period 1, we extended period 1 to allow them time to really sit and take the survey. And it's really asking about the school culture, how they feel walking into the building, how they connected with people, do they feel they're being supported. And again, I can't wait to get that data because I think it's important for us to continue to review those things too. So that's it. Any questions? No. Okay. And then next you have enrollment reports. Any questions there? Today was my kiddo's first day in college, so I can't wait to go home. And then she worked to hear about her day. But if you have questions, I'll stay. Anybody? No? We're good?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Retirement, Mr. Brown?
I don't think we have any retirements this time. There.
Presentation.
Yep, so we did have a few paraprofessionals, so obviously each year some paraprofessionals find opportunities that they can get into teaching for other districts and everything else, so we did have a few folks resign from that. Vocational specialist kind of in the same role there as well. And then we have the list up there for a lot of these folks who came on board either brand new or shifted their positions. And I think Diana read all those names. I'll think his name went on there. We had it listed. So busy summer. We still have a few positions, paraprofessional, because some paras left. We do have a few positions open. We had a CAP position that's still open, but we're pretty much teaching staff. We're at 100%.
Okay. All right. Subcommittees, Ms. Swanson.
Okay, we're gonna get started. You're gonna see a lot of policies coming up in the next year. This is moved that the district committee approve the first reading policy JF, which is the admissions policy that the superintendent had just talked about.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Anyone have any questions, Mr. Prasad?
On the third paragraph, it says adhering to the long-standing district agreement, the lottery will reflect seat allocation by member community. As such, a lottery for each sending district, consistent with the seat allocation requirement, then a district agreement shall be conducted. Well, my town is part of Montachusett district. We're going to do
maybe we should change it
Should
to
be
send
community.
town or community.
Should be, I think we should stick to
Yeah,
community.
you're right. Yep,
Because I don't want one drawing for,
Yeah.
for
no,
instance.
good call. Yep, so we'll get that switched.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Mr. Barber,
I might have missed it in here. Was there a time window on when the lottery was to actually happen?
So the closing is March 1st. So I thought we had that in there, but if it isn't,
Well, the March 1st was there,
yeah.
because then it's like, but when does the actual, was there a time like the fourth week in March or?
So basically, we're thinking about the second or third week of March.
Okay.
So you're right, that might
I
not.
didn't see that in here, and that's one of the things I was thinking about is that
Yeah, that's an easy addition.
if the lottery, if the March 1st happens, because after March 1st, there was the wait list, they're at
Correct.
the end of the wait list by their application date. Is
Correct.
that-
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We may or may not want to have a specific, it should be just kind of evasive so that you're not pinned down to having it like the third week of March or the fourth week, but say during the month of March, we could change it to something like that, but make it, so we're not pinned down to a particular date.
Yep.
No, I
Take care
agree.
of that.
anything else? Mr. Brooks?
Thank you. I was just noticing on section 7, second paragraph, repeats what was said at the beginning, and so do we change district to community on that?
Oh, yeah, because it's the same paragraph.
It's the same paragraph being repeated.
Yep.
Thank you.
Got it.
And just as a quick comment, there's a couple of places in which, for the purpose of making sure that people understand everything, there will be a couple of duplicate paragraphs, that's by design.
Yep.
All right, so we'll make those 3 changes.
Okay. So would you like to amend your motion to include the changes?
Yes, so let's see. I can withdraw the initial motion if you withdraw it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're withdrawing that, and then I'll make it, move that the district committee approve for a first reading policy JF admissions with the incorporation of 3 changes proposed during this meeting.
Second.
Okay, we good with that? Julie, you got that?
Yes, all set.
All right. Mr. Olson?
So just apologize for not having pre-read that. So does this still state that we're going to be doing interviews, or the interview process is completely?
Interview process gone.
And the intention is this policy, we have to do an update every year.
Correct.
Right, so we're brand new
Correct.
release, so it's a
Yeah.
lot, with a lot of names and emails and that stuff that I would say we should genericize in future versions, like admissions ad.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
don't
we're
have to worry about
required to, you have to specifically, each
Cashier.
year, you have to spell out exactly so they know who they go to and
And
everything else.
do you think that when you meet with if we're gonna pay a service for a lottery system, why wouldn't we use them for all the application process as well? If this is just year 1, you wanna do paper?
Yeah, again, I want to double check on what, we're going to see how it goes. That we spoke with Vicki and Montachusett, who does a lot, and Chrissy as well. And they did find that very often they have to, because even when parents fill out the application, there are many mistakes that they then have to go track down. So their concern is if we just have people enter the data themselves, we're then going to have to go online and go through everything. They'd rather have the hard copy in front of them so they can look and see, did the parents screw it up or anything else like that. They prefer the hard copy going in and then they enter it so they know it's the right data.
I mean, I guess talking with the group and understanding, I would think that, technology has some validation tools to check an address is right, to validate that certain things are right, ranges for dates of birth, those sort of entry errors that usually are typing and clerical
But it
translation.
could be
ones.
something simple as 27 Main Street becomes 72 Main Street. Something like that. Just typos. As if the family were to enter, type it in directly and everything else. track those down, trust me.
I appreciate that, I'm surprised, it would feel like it's the opposite way, that your likelihood of transcribing, as I've done lots of youth application forms, reading a parent's scribble for email addresses that have the wrong names or letters, or trying to figure out what they wrote, is usually a lot easier on an electronic form that's filled in than it is in paper form.
And I'll introduce you to Donna
No, I'm-
Schaffner.
I'm not,
Now, who's gonna
In
do the
future
data?
years, it will go to that, I agree with you.
Donna
yeah, I know we tried it before, and it
This is
didn't
the
work
kind
well
of-
at all, right? Like, I understand that this was a big mess years ago, we tried to do online applications.
And if we find that we enter it by hand the first time, and that, you know what, there were a lot of errors, and it looks like then certainly.
Because I suspect with the tool, you're gonna share back to somebody their account ID anyways to get
Correct.
logged into the lottery tool to be able to see their position, so.
What
there's a
you essentially
whole-
do is, we'll enter it, you push a button, it becomes official, and it emails their ID number to the family and everything
And
else.
they
So
would
they-
see their
Correct.
information.
Yeah.
Christine?
My question has to do about that notification that's mentioned, that there'll be, all applicants whose completed applications are received will be notified by letter. Because I was thinking as we were talking about this, that it's electronic, so is it read letters, electronic
That's
letter?
it's like an
everything that-
email.
Yeah, so I might want to, because I'm thinking this is going in the mail and I'm checking my mailbox, so I would just want clarity, like electronic letter or
Sure.
something like that.
The problem is not every parent, ironically, does that, so I think by leaving it a little evasive the first time around, we could do a combination of both.
Yeah.
Or we would get better feel for next year, from Chrissy and them that are working with us on the first time around. So I think that's why we're kind of leaving it a little bit that way.
I think we're gonna learn a lot with going through it the
I would
first
just
time.
think with the letter, there's a lot, I'm thinking you have to address all these envelope stuff that, like where we have this tool, it's probably
Yeah.
electronic.
Yep.
With maybe some few people who might
Sure.
opt for a letter. I'll let you know how the parent.
There you go. No pressure there, Shelley.
You're in next.
Thanks.
All right, any other discussion, any other questions? If not, can we call the vote? All right. Graduation?
Move that the district committee approve for first reading policy IKF, competency determination.
Second.
Okay. We used to have policy used to say graduation, it no longer says that, because we do the NEP and coding, so we had to change the title to be that. Yet it does say graduation competencies.
And just quickly in summary, if you didn't get a chance to go through it. Essentially, it's what we've already presented to you, that students have to pass the required classes that Montech has already identified. And then, again, the bigger piece is that they also have to demonstrate mastery by completing some sort of final exam, final project, portfolio, that also demonstrates that, and that's specifically in math. Basically, anything that was an MCAS test is where they have to demonstrate the mastery in those content areas.
Anything else, Mr. Olson?
I'd like to make a recommendation that nobody seconded that we add MCAS as a graduation requirement.
To be honest, we are all very curious, because a school district, if they wanted to do that, they could. We're all very curious if anyone's gonna do it, so we'll have to see.
Well, in my experience, that if something's passed by the voters, that state officials are very leery about making any changes on their own.
True story.
All right. Anything else? If not, you want to call the vote? seconded. Questions? All right, seeing none, you want to call it, Julie?
Good.
Good, okay.
Oh, wait, no, tell me, we're waiting for you.
Oh,
Did you?
no,
Stay away, John. Stay away, will you?
Look away, everybody, look away.
No, I deleted the agenda by mistake. All right, so we are at
Four.
4.
Move that the district committee approve for first reading policy BIDA travel.
Second.
Okay, questions, comments? Hearing none, call a vote.
Hey, Julie, Tom said I can turn in my travel voucher to you. Follow her. She did not want travel.
We're probably gonna have to carpool soon then.
You ride on the back of my bike?
Mary can get in on that too.
Let's go.
Go ride on the back of the bike?
Which John, Malika or
What?
John's County?
Sometimes it goes back automatically.
All right, motion carries.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there waiting for it to go back.
Vote to subcommittee, capital improvements, Mr. Carrigan's not here. Workforce, Mr. Olson?
Yes, good evening, everybody. So Workforce has been meeting. We had a great meeting with the superintendent and reviewed through the goals, which the subcommittee unanimously approved to bring forth to this committee. So I would, at this time, like to move the district committee approve and accept to adopt the proposed goals presented by the superintendent director for the 25-26 school year.
Okay, moved and seconded. We have discussed this previously. Anybody have any questions, though, for Mr. Olson? Yes, sir.
Are they listed in this item?
They were in the presentation.
I know that, but I'm wondering if, just for future.
I think on board docs, there is a separate one-pager that has it all. I don't know if it's in this item, but.
Yeah,
It's not. It's
I
not.
would attach it to
Web
this.
ones,
Yeah. Julie, but it's on board docs, right?
Yeah, it's C under your report.
Yeah.
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 I can put it under this section.
I think it would be.
Yeah, that would be helpful, just when it posts for posterity. Is that our term?
Further discussion on the superintendent's goals? Seeing none, you want to call the vote, Julie?
Motion unanimous.
And a couple of
Okay,
things. John,
motion passed.
John,
Yes, sir.
just a couple more things too for the report. The workforce committee has been meeting with the paraprofessional and cafeteria worker uniform unions. We've been working through 2 draft contracts. So we have another meeting here in a couple weeks. So we're heavily in the throes of negotiations with that group. As well, we were notified this week and have our letter from the Teachers Association of their desire to open negotiations as well for their contract requirements for this year. So their contract ends the end of the 26th, this school year, so in 26. So we will soon be planning to start meeting with them. And I know they're meeting on their side to understand their groups, but their group has been aligned. They have a chair for the committee formed. So we'll at least start conversations this year, soon, and then we'll be heavily in the throes.
Busy.
How long is their contract usually go for? 2 years?
The last one we had done was 3 years.
Anything else from Mr. Olson? If not, let's go on to student advisory. Mr. Barber.
We have not met, but I'll be reaching out shortly to the liaison and see if we can schedule a meeting.
All right. Graduation gift committee, Dr. Thurigny?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. And financial planning, Brooks?
Thank you. I guess I would ask right after the meeting if the members of the Financial Planning Committee, and I believe there are 2 others of us here, could get together with me and with Tammy just to talk about when we can meet. Thank you.
And financial statements. Any questions for Tammy on the financials?
Yeah, let's bring it up, you want me to bring it up?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, for the October meeting, the gentleman who did the most recent audit, report, that we had done, for what it's worth, he lives out beyond the Berkshires. And he reached out to Tammy and said, would it be possible that rather than driving out to Fitchburg for a 15-minute presentation, could I zoom in and do the presentation, via Zoom? We have no problem with that, and if the committee is okay with that, we'll arrange that, set that up, so the gentleman doesn't have to drive out here.
Put it in form of motion at all?
I don't know what the process would be, but,
Was in-person presentation part of the original contract?
No.
No? Really? Okay.
And they haven't been out in a couple of years, and this is our 2024.
Is that the same firm we used to use?
It's now CBIZ.
Yeah, they got bought.
Yep. Yeah, so this is the year ending June 30, 2024.
So it's not the woman that we used to see who would come out?
She's passed.
Much pressure.
yeah, if everybody didn't hear that, this is the audit for the previous year. Beyond, not just 2025, it's the audit, well, you can explain it better than I can, Tammy, in terms of what happened.
Well, it was Williams and Heath. They were picked up or acquisition by, excuse me, Markham. And then Markham was taken over by CBIZ, and they've pretty much taken over state for audits for municipal and schools, for Mass and a lot of New Hampshire, and they're really far behind. They were very far behind this last year, and I think they took on more probably. I won't speak for them, but, so they are moving aggressively for our 25 audit. Get moving quicker like that. A lot of districts are in our state. I was showing Tom the list of the business managers who are upset about it. So we weren't the only, there's about 40 of them.
You don't want to read an email from an angry business manager, trust me.
No,
The language they use, so inappropriate.
especially about our audits.
But it sounds like everyone's okay with that, so we'll set up the Zoom and everything else. We appreciate that, thank you. And I'm sure he will very much appreciate that.
Now, we haven't had an exit interview with an auditor since I've been here, and I think it's very valuable to have it for the committee members, but also to have it for the public to understand that we're acting responsible financially. All right. Acceptance of donations.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I move that the district committee accept the donation of a 2006 Mercury Montego from David Lee Lunenburg with an approximate value of $3,200.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, call a vote.
when we had MCAS testing, it was always kind of presented that all the students took biology, just to kind of facilitate the MCAS test. Have we expanded out to give any of the students of more physics-oriented trade areas some additional physics?
We haven't, and obviously now that MCAS is going away. So what we basically did is freshmen, they would take, it was the MCAS exam they take freshman year. So that would be students who were in the upper level biology class, they would take it their freshman year. And then students who might be on IEPs or anything else, they had a 2-year sequence for biology, freshman and sophomore year. So they would then take the MCAS sophomore year. It's always been bio. There really wasn't any further information. I think I agree with you that if MCAS was still a viable situation, I think more and more we're trying to make sure that part of the requirements we're saying is that we want people to take sciences that go beyond just the basic biology. So.
Yeah, I know I've encountered students that want to have physics and they're not able to get it. I don't know how hard they've tried, or do we have a physics instructor?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and we do have several who take yes.
I wanted to say, as a parent of a graduating student last year, physics is available.
Yeah.
In junior and senior year.
Yeah, it's again the students who take the 2-year sequence of biology is a little bit tougher because then obviously they're going to follow up with chemistry their junior year, and oftentimes a kid who then decides senior year might say, I won't be taking a physics class senior year if I don't have to. So yes, I would absolutely agree with you.
I guess my question is are there people requesting physics and not able to get it because we don't have enough physics?
Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. School committee comments? Anybody have anything?
Are the students from that competed at skills going to be at the next meeting?
We could try. They've probably, a couple of them obviously have graduated and moved on.
They have. I mean, I didn't know, because if not, I've got the pins. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me find out from Alicia though,
Yeah.
see if they
So I
can.
figured.
I'm not sure who's around. I mean,
Yeah.
Mickey should be around, but we can find that out.
Sometimes they bring whoever's around and they, go to a meeting, and
Yep.
sometimes the kids go. I was able to scuff onto a bunch of pins, so the kids could trade off all the rest of theirs that they
Yeah,
got.
I'll talk to them.
I just wanted to say I really appreciate that the administration positively promotes the opening of school. Like I just noticed on social media and even just walking into the building today, like just seeing the welcome, we're glad you're here. That's just so nice. It just really feels, and we're excited to have students here, and it's just great for the community to see all of that as well. So I really appreciate that. I know that is not easy to do. It takes time, it takes thought, it takes care. And I can feel from all the people that come, just the passion that they have for the school. I really appreciate that.
Diana, Katie Schmidt were the ones who painted all the messages on the walkway. Katie does a fantastic job getting new bulletin boards on and everything else. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll let them know.
Shall we? Jay?
I wanted to thank you, Tom, for looking into fixing the track. And because I remember that email from last year, and it's really nice to see that it's something that's being worked on when people request things.
Sure.
So thanks for that.
Mike?
Welcome back, sir.
Mrs. Malaka?
All set.
Ms. Essie?
Yes, I don't know if anybody caught it on the news this week. I believe it was on Channel 5, I heard. The owner of the bus company I drive for was on the news. And what they were talking about, what most people don't know on school buses, 3 times a year, every 4 months, every school bus in the state is inspected by the state. Okay? And they had a news report because I guess this year it was horrendous throughout the state, how many school buses that were being driven on the road that couldn't pass a standard DOT inspection. Bald tires, bad brakes, things like this. So it's something that I know most of you aren't aware of because you're not working in this area. But I can say we contract with 3 companies, D-Bus, J.P. McCarthy, and the one I drive for is AA Transportation. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, knowing all 3 companies, that these companies are phenomenal about keeping their buses in 100% condition. No bus will show up to school that did not pass inspection. I can guarantee you that. The owners of these companies are very meticulous about our buses. We're very fortunate. We contract with them. I know, like, the company I work for, I get a brand new bus every 4 years. And I'm about almost on year 4 now, the ones I have, which is about 84,000 miles, I'll get a brand new bus. And the thing is, I just didn't know if anybody saw that report, and I thought that was really sad that somebody would put a child on their bus that is not 100%. I mean, so I just wanted to put that out to you guys, that the buses that we are using, that we contract with, the companies are phenomenal. And the buses they're running are extremely well maintained. Just wanted to throw that out there for you.
Thank you. Mr. Olson? Mr. Olson?
Yep, thank you. I guess I just want to thank the committee and kind of recognize that we've come to kind of an end on a discussion that erupted when I was first on the committee about admissions policy. And I know at the start there was a lot of hand-wringing and running around and like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I think that we may not like the way it's being done, in that we might think that there should be more standards for admission, but I think it's taking it in a direction that we are all accepting of, and it'll be interesting to see how it is going forward. I think that's the real test. Thank you.
Campbell?
Just to piggyback on Mr. Brook, I'm glad they're doing it, giving opportunity for other kids that probably would have never had a chance. Some are. Other than that, welcome back.
Well, as far as, the admissions goes, that's not a static thing. It's going to be evolving and changing every year. And I think, first of all, we have to be accepting that, but also, I think there's 2 things we should always keep in mind when all of these things come up. Number 1 is the district agreement is safe. Everything has to be done in accordance with the agreement. And especially in terms of the quotas for the towns. Because if the towns aren't feeling they're getting their fair share, they're not going to want to stay in the district. And the other one is, in all these issues too, I think it's important that we have local control as much as possible. I got more faith in